Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Fab's in the house. And today I'm in the house with the Spyderco Mantra 3 here with me for a review, and we're gonna analyze the look, the sound, and the feel of this little guy. But hey, don't forget to like the video and to subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying this kind of content. So let's get this started and check this little guy out. This is the Spyderco Mantra 3, and overall length of this little guy is going to be 7.25 inches with a 3.25 inch long cutting edge and a 4.2 around that overall handle size. So not that huge of a knife, not that small, because for example, check it out up against the Ontario Rat number 2. You're gonna see that that's a little bit bigger than that. Of course, it's smaller than the Ontario Rat number 1, but it's kind of like right in between these two guys. But if you check like your Benchmade mini bag out, you're gonna notice that the Mantra 3 is bigger than that. And that's the Benchmade bug out. I would say probably we are in the same ballpark. I would say fraction of an inch shorter for the Spyderco, but we are kind of like in the same realm. Here you have your Spyderco Para 3, which is a tiny bit longer than that, and this is your Spyderco Paramilitary 2, which of course it's a big boy. Another Spyderco we have here laying around, that's the Tenacious with some serrations, and you're gonna notice, yeah, that Mantra is still smaller than that. Let me just show you another couple options here. Pretty popular. This is the Chris Reeve Knives small Sebenza 21, and of course you've got the big boy right over here, large Sebenza 21. You can see that the Spyderco is a little bit bigger than this small Sebenza 21, so it's gonna be, yeah, like a pretty cool EDC option, as you can see, for example, up against the Shirogorov Neon R20. It's kind of like a little bit smaller than that, which I think this is like pretty beautiful size as an EDC, and this is of course the bigger brother of this guy. This is the Shirogorov F95 Slim Nudist. And let me just show you another couple more that I like to show you guys. These are a couple of custom knife factories. This is the 520 Philippe Georget design, and this is the Snafu 2.0, also from Custom Knife Factory, designed by Peter Rassenti, Snafu 2.0. I've got another beautiful Custom Knife Factory here, just to check it out. Evo 2.0 Rotten Design. What else can I show you? Yeah, why not? Southern Grind Penguin. You can see this is a bigger boy, but this is slimmer, so that's a very interesting one, guys. Check that out. What else can I show you? All right, Hindered Knives. That's the XM18 3.5 inch long blade, and we got a Benchmade here, like a big boy. Look at that, dwarfing the Mantra. We have the Benchmade Crooked River, and let me show you just another couple of budget options. This is the Kershaw Atmos, and this is the CRKT. We have the Ruger. Look at that, a couple budget options, but still pretty nice knives, kind of like this guy over here. And also this is a pretty nice budget one. So I think you get the idea behind the Mantra. It's not a big knife. It's a classic Spyderco tall profile, of course. This is made in Taichung, in the factory of in Taiwan. It's gonna run you around $170. So it's not a cheap one, but there's some pretty good features here. I mean, the overall look, it's a classic Spyderco. You've got these couple finger grooves, sweeping back, pronounced thumb ramp, Spidey hole, a full flat grind. In this case, you have a compression lock, you have carbon fiber scales, but this is laminated over G10 with nice chamfering going on inside and outside. You have a couple of stainless steel liners with, let's say, internal skeletonization. There's like some holes, as you can maybe appreciate from this perspective over here. Not so much on the lock, but it's well put together, I have to say. There's not much 3D-ness going on the scale, just like flat, but these two finger grooves are making a pretty good grip for sure. There's no backspacer, but you have a couple of standoffs with the lanyard hole drilled not drilled, sorry, linear tube, creating a hole right going across the two scales. So you have also that option right there. You have the blade, which is pretty much perfectly centered and absolutely safe. There's no way you're going to be able to touch the tip, because look at that. It's pretty well recessed into these couple of scales. And you have your T8 Torx bit screws needed to disassemble this guy, which also you can check my maintenance video. There's a couple of handle screws and just one pivot screw right over there, which is keyed in, I believe. And the overall thing is that this is flush, nothing is protruding, super slick, and very, very easy to take down and take care of this one. This is a compression lock, so you have steel on steel, so there's no need for any insert, and the compression lock is it's pretty solid and very, very safe, because the main purpose is that, for example, when you have like a liner frame lock, your finger has to go right here on the lock bar, disengage the lock bar, and then you have the blade crossing the path, you see, and your finger is like in the blade path. Whereas in the lock, in the compression lock, you just have the lock right in the back, you just push this guy down and that's it. Nothing gets in between the blade path when closing, so absolutely safe. You have also a very interesting detent, because it's right there, and there's it's like in a strange position, so that creates a little bit of a hard step over here, because there's no detent ball ramp. This is not the factory clip. The factory clip is just the wire one, which I'm not really a fan of, even if it's functionally really good. This is a cool one, looks much better. It's titanium, and both are going to be reversible and tip up carry only, so there's no tip down carry option. You have a very interesting blade shape, classic in the Spyderco tradition, very similar to the paramilitary series you've been used to probably, with some nice jimping, absolutely pronounced thumb ramp, which is beautiful. It's ergonomically fantastic, so it gives you like a physical hindrance for for your thumb to be slipping over, and therefore you're gonna have a very, very cool grip. There's no chamfering on the spine of the blade, which is satin as well in this direction over here. The jimping is absolutely functional. Of course, you've got your Spidey hole, so you can just even, open like that. You can do Spidey flick like so, or you can use just a flipper tab. It's up to you. And then you have this nice drop point blade with the pretty much full belly up to the flipper tab. There's no sharpening choil, as you can see, no finger choil. You can actually kind of pretend that this is like your finger choil, but it's not a choil. It's just like a rounded off flipper tab where you can actually, if you want, just place your fingertip right there. But be careful, because this blade is sharpened up to the heel. So just keep that in mind. You have a full flat grind S30V blade steel with nice belt grind lines on both sides, so the grind is going to be pretty symmetrical. The plunge grind is huge and gets up to this up to the almost the end of the jimping. There's of course like your Spyderco logo right over here, and the Taichung Taiwan factory right on the other side, so not much billboarding going on here, but of course you've got a little bit of crowdiness, let's say, if I can say that, on this side, but nothing too crazy. Overall, nice blade profile, just missing the sharpening choil right over there. The sound this guy makes, it's very low, and then there's like a bouncing sound, which is contained, not that obtrusive. When you open it, it's not loud, and it's just like a pretty mellow clack. It's a very not loud. It's a soft clack. It's pleasant, but nothing like wow. There's no wow factor, in my opinion, in this sound right over here. When the knife closes, you have a little bit bouncing of the blade, which is interesting, but it's not like a particular sound, like something very distinctive that you can actually recognize this guy like from far away. So Let's just quickly check the weight on this guy, because this is not a heavy one. Of course, there's G10 and carbon fiber, which are going to contribute to the to keep the weight contained at 2.88 ounces. So it's very, very nice. It's going to be pretty cool in the pocket, not that heavy. It doesn't feel like so dense. Ergonomics are going to be pretty fantastic. There's no hot spots. I like the thumb ramp. I like how this finger grooves ends a little bit with this little finger guard created by the flipper tab. There's no sharp edges. The jimping is absolutely, I think, my favorite design feature of this knife. This area is just fantastic, feels absolutely great with your thumb. Not so much for the reverse grip. I mean, you can do it, but it's probably, yeah, a little bit too small for my hands. It feels pretty balanced, like that's the balance point. So it's good in your hand. There's some texture going on, so it's gonna add a little bit of friction, good grip you're gonna have when handling this guy. I don't see too many issues in the fit and finish. It feels pretty well put together. This is kind of like not a cheap one because it's 170 bucks, so it better be like that. Of course, there's a little bit of rattling when shaken, and that's not the clip. I think it's probably, I don't know, some part going on. Everything is tight, so there's a little bit of rattling going on. There's no blade play, there's no finger soreness when you deploy from the flipper tab because it's nicely rounded off, but there's no jimping. Remember, the jimping is just right over here, not on the actual flipper tab. There is no lock stick because it's stainless steel on stainless steel, so you're gonna be good to go. In this case, the clip is a little bit different than the factory one, and you can see that it has a nice look when you look. I mean, I prefer this clip over here than the wire one that it's factory provided, but that's just me. Nothing wrong with that. It's just like an aesthetic thing, and I prefer this look over here. Also, you've got a nice action, I have to say. This guy is running on bearings, and these are, I think, I don't know if it's brass or bronze caged bearings. So very, very interesting one. The action is good. Like if you flip it open, it's gonna fly open. It's gonna close like easily. You can actually play and fidget with this guy all day long because of those bearings. So nicely done. There is only one thing that I'm kind of like not a fan of. So the compression lock position, it's right over here. So as you can see, this is like the cutout for your finger. So you're gonna be inclined to do something like that, right? But as you can see, the flipper tab, it's in the path. So especially when you close it, you're gonna be wanting to do like this, and look at that. There's no way it's gonna be, you're gonna be able to close it. So you have to shuffle your finger to the side and leave this area here for the flipper tab to clear this area and then go into the closed position. Same thing is gonna go if you're a lefty. You see, like the thumb, it might be like this to leave this area. If you're like that, like using the full cutout, there's no way this guy, the flipper tab is gonna hit your thumb and you're not gonna be able to close the knife. So just, you see, like you can happen to get into this position. So just use it a little bit lower. So that's a little bit of a design flaw in my opinion that could have been improved a little bit. But as you know, you just know that you have to be a little bit lower, pinching the compression lock, and you're gonna be good to go. So not much finger soreness introduced with this feature over here. You have a very, very good deployment, very, very good fidget factor in this one. If you flip it, if you like Spidey flick like that, it's thumb flick it, it's very good. There's no front flipping option, of course, but overall you've got also like a nice detent suction at the end with a kind of like a magnetic effect going on. And I mean, overall, this is an interesting knife, looking good. There's a nice flat grind, absolutely. Slicer, actually, I just forgot to measure the blade stock, so let's just check it out. That's gonna be let me see, right over here, 0.11 inches, and let's check just the Like at this point, look at that, 0.0175. So it's a nice slicer, guys. Thin stock, beautiful flat grind, S30V, carbon fiber over G10, contained weight, perfect ergos in the hand, a little bit of hindrance with your thumb when you disengage that compression lock. I love the thumb ramp. Sound is very, very interesting. And overall, it's a very nice knife for the price. So there you have it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe. And thanks for watching. Stay tuned.